All right, welcome back, everybody. GE115. Sorry, I'm a little bit late with this. It won't be very long. I'm just going to cover array and a few editing commands, copy, maybe some trimming, that kind of stuff. But starting here at Blackboard, this is the Monday, week 7, Valentine's Day. That was yesterday. I know that. This is the lecture you're going to watch, and this is the homework set. So I want to make sure that you can see this. So I'm going to just reshare it real quick. All right, here we go. Yeah, so this is what you're going to draw. And I want you to use array. So if there's any missing dimensions, just assume them. I don't think there are, but there are some like assumptions you have to make. So just do that. But this I want you to create as an array. So it would be a rectangular array. A polar array goes around in a circle. A rectangular array goes in the X and the Y direction. So I'll show you how to run that command. You're going to create this top view and then also this section. And here's the cutting plane for that section. You could put that cutting plane on any one of the cups, wherever you want. So, okay, so let's do a new share to AutoCAD. Most of these commands you could probably figure out, you know, just by some experimentation. But I do want to show you array just because there's a certain number of things we can use that for. I'll show you both. So let me just get a circle. So that's a 4 radius circle. And I'm going to array it out. So the command is array. I think it is right here in the palette, the tool palette. So I just type array and up it comes. And the first thing, a lot of these commands, first thing it wants you to do is select the object. So when you do that and you're done selecting, you always have to hit enter. So hitting enter. And then you can see the a quick drop down right here popped up. And it wants to know if you want to do a rectangular or a polar or a path array. Notice that you can type in whatever is capitalized. So if you want a polar, you could type in PO. Rectangular would be R. It's already chosen, so I don't have to do much there. And then it goes into an array setup. So this, again, is AutoCAD trying to help you. You can see that the array dialog box is opened up here, right? And then it automatically sets up, looks like 4 columns. Remember, columns go up and down, and 3 rows. So it sets that up, kind of defaults it out based on what you chose. If you want something different, you just go up and make the changes. Like maybe I just want 2 columns and 6, right? And so I'm hitting enter each time, and then it updates the view. All right, so it looks like there's a certain zoom limit. I can't zoom back anymore. It's telling me that right down here in the corner. So see, it says cannot zoom further while in this command. So, all right, I won't do that. I'm going to adjust the distance between rows to be 2. Oh, I guess it should be 4. So that should make them, yeah, that makes them half intersect. So, you know, you can just keep doing this until you get what you want. If I wanted them to touch, that would be 8. So you have to think about moving from one spot to the exact same spot. So I think I put in a radius of 4, so my diameter is 8. So if I wanted to go from the exact same spot all the way up and touch the next circle, that would be 8. So just think about that. It's either center to center, you can think about that, or any one spot to any one spot. So then I could go right here, and they would all be touching. So you can keep kind of tweaking this until you get it the way you want it, and then you hit the check mark. Close array. Now, this is one object. So notice when I mouse over it, it's one object. If you don't want that, because maybe you want to do some trimming or something, you can't do it. you can always explode it. So anything that you array, you're going to explode, but then you lose all the array capabilities. Like right now, if I two-click on it, it pulls up all of the information from that array, right? And I can adjust it. But if I explode it, I can't do that. So if I go EX and then choose explode and then hit it, now it's all individuals. So the good thing is I can like take one of them and move it out of there and create another look, right? So sometimes you want to explode them, sometimes you don't. Like right now, I can't get this array back. I could, because I could undo it, but you know, after you work and save and all that, then all those undos are gone. You can't get the array back to mess with it. So be careful with that. All right, so now let's look at the other really common option to array is a polar array. So a lot of times with polar array, you're going to have some markers already set up. Like maybe I have, you know, a circle that I want to send a bolt pattern around or some kind of pattern around. Usually you need some kind of construction lines to get things set up correctly. So I don't know what size this is, but here, I can do this better. There's an option to circle, and it is a 2-point circle. So I'll do that. I'll go from here over, and I'll make it 50. Okay, so now that's a 50 diameter. So I have better control over it now. But let's say I wanted to send this bolt pattern around, right? So that again is array. And I want to select the object that I want to array. So I don't select the construction lines, just that object, right? And then I choose polar. So it says right away, because it can't do a preview until you identify the center of the array. So that would be the center of this thing. And you can see it popping up there, right there. So then it does do a kind of guess as to what you want, right? So there's a number of things you can do in here. One of them is rotate items. Well, I used a round item. So if you rotate the round item, it still looks like a round item. But like if it was a triangle or a square that you were arraying and you wanted it to stay in position, then you do not want to rotate the item as it gets arrayed, right? So there's these toggles you can turn on and off. So that's nice. And with polar, you can fill half a circle. So I could put in 180 degrees. That's this fill. So now it's just doing the 180, right? And then you can choose number of items, or you can choose angle between. There's just a lot of different ways you can identify the array. But it is definitely the way to do it. If you have anything that's repetitive in a circular pattern, do not draw it all. Just draw the one part and then array it around. You know, sprockets and gears, all those kind of things. That's exactly how we would draw them. All right, so I'm going to say I want 10 items, and I'm going to go back to filling 360. And it, you know, it does that math. Whoops, not 36. It does that math for me and says, hey, they need to be 36 degrees between, angular distance between. So yeah, it's perfect. And then again, of course, goes the array. All right. All right, so that's array in two different forms, rectangular and polar. Don't forget about copy. You know, if I wanted to make something similar to this, you can create copies of anything. So I'm going to copy all that. When I'm done selecting objects, I hit enter. And then it always wants a base point. So it's nice to forward think that. I'm going to use the center for the base point, and now I have it. So I could then move in the horizontal direction, and I could type in 100, and it'll send it to 100. And then I could type in 200. Now, array is faster, but copy can do a lot. Like I could point up or down and say 100, and it does it, right? So that's pretty handy. And then the other thing I want to show you was just the fence again with trim, because that's very handy. If I wanted to get rid of all of these here in between, you know, that kind of move with trim is really easy. It says select object to trim, but if you don't, you can just draw lines between objects, right? But you can also, I don't see fence. See what crossing does. Oh, crossing is crossing. It used to be fence. Oh, I just typed in fence, F for fence. And I think, yeah, so now you can just like draw this fence through things. That's interesting. It wasn't showing up as an option, right? And then hit enter and it'll do all of those trims at once. So that's pretty handy. I find I'm using fence more and more all the time for multiple trimming. It's just less keyboard, less mouse, a little quicker. Okay. All right, I hope that helps. Hope that helps with array. You have a project to do that is an array, and I want to see the array in it. So remember, your commands get saved when you draw, and I should be able to look at your command sequence and see that you did an array. Way too much to do any other way. So, all right, good luck with that, and I will be in touch tomorrow on the next project.